Ladies and gentlemen, before you give up on her, I want you to pause. I want you to take a deep breath and ask yourself, do you really see her? Do you really know the battles she's fought in silence? The dreams she's nurtured despite the world telling her they were too much? She is not just a woman, she is a story. One filled with chapters of pain, resilience, and undying hope. She has been told no more times than she can count. She has been doubted, underestimated, and overlooked. But let me tell you something. Every time she was pushed down, she found a way to rise. That's who she is. That's who she has always been. So before you walk away thinking she's not enough, remember this. She is not meant to fit inside a box of your expectations. She is meant to soar beyond them. If you can't stand by her when she's still finding her wings, you don't deserve to be there when she takes flight. She has walked through storms that most people wouldn't even dare to face. Life has thrown challenges at her, ones that have tested her spirit, broken her heart, and made her question her own worth. But she's still standing. Not because it was easy, not because she was handed a way out, but because there was something inside her that refused to surrender. You see, strength isn't something you are simply born with. It's something you build. It's the fire that comes from being burned and still daring to touch the flame again. It's the resilience that forms when you've been knocked down so many times that standing up again feels like muscle memory. And for her, strength has never been about looking strong on the outside. It has always been about the battles she fights in silence, the wars she wins when no one is watching. There were days when she felt like giving up, nights when she cried herself to sleep, wondering if she would ever be enough. There were moments when the weight of expectations, failures, and disappointments felt unbearable. But even in those darkest hours, she chose to hold on. Not because she had all the answers, but because she refused to let the world decide her worth. People often mistake her struggles for weakness. They look at her tears and think she's fragile. They see her moments of hesitation and assume she's lost. But what they fail to realize is that her struggles are the very reason she is strong. Every tear she's wiped away, every doubt she's silenced, every fear she's faced has been a stepping stone to the unshakable woman she is becoming. She has faced rejection not once, not twice, but so many times that she has lost count. She has been told she wasn't good enough, smart enough, strong enough. But instead of letting those words define her, she used them as fuel. She took every no and turned it into a reason to fight harder. She learned that strength is not about proving something to the world. It's about proving to yourself that you are capable, that you are worthy, that you are enough. And it's not just the external battles that have tested her, it's the internal ones, the quiet wars within her soul. The ones where she had to choose between listening to the voice that told her she was failing or the one that whispered, keep going. The battles where she had to let go of the past, release the pain, and believe in the possibility of a future, even when everything felt uncertain. What makes her strong is not just that she survived, but that she never lost herself in the process. She never let the hardships make her bitter. She never allowed the pain to close off her heart. She continued to love, to trust, to dream, even when the world gave her every reason to stop. So, if you ever find yourself doubting her, questioning her strength, or thinking she's not capable of rising from her struggles, remember this. She has already survived everything that was meant to break her. And if that isn't strength, then what is? She has always carried dreams that seemed too big for the world around her. From the time she was a little girl, she dared to imagine a life beyond the limitations placed upon her. While others told her to be realistic, to play it safe, to lower her expectations, she kept dreaming. Not because she was naive, but because something deep within her refused to accept a life confined by doubt. People doubted her not because she wasn't capable, but because they couldn't see what she saw. They looked at her dreams and saw impossibilities. They looked at her ambitions and saw risks, but she looked at them and saw purpose. She saw the version of herself that she was destined to become. She saw a future that was waiting for her to claim it, and no amount of skepticism could make her unsee what she believed in. Doubt has never been a stranger to her. She has heard it in the voices of others, in the sideways glances of those who don't understand her vision, in the casual dismissals of those who think she's reaching too high. But the loudest voice of all has always been the one inside her own head, the one that whispers, "What if they're right?" The one that questions, "What if I fail?" She has wrestled with that voice more times than she can count. There have been nights when she lay awake, staring at the ceiling, wondering if she was foolish for believing in something so big. There have been moments when she almost let doubt convince her to stop, to shrink, to settle. But every time she came close to giving in, something stronger than fear pulled her back. Her purpose. She understands now that doubt is not the enemy. Doubt is the test. It exists to see if she is truly willing to fight for what she wants. It waits to see if she will give up when things get hard, or if she will push forward despite the uncertainty. And she has chosen time and time again to push forward. The road to her dreams has not been easy. It has been filled with failures, setbacks, and moments of crushing disappointment. She has heard no more than she has heard yes. She has fallen flat on her face when she thought she was on the verge of success, but every time she fell, she picked herself back up. Not because it didn't hurt, not because she didn't question everything, but because she knew deep down that her dreams were bigger than any moment of doubt. She has seen others give up. Not because they weren't talented, not because they didn't have potential, but because they let their doubts win. She refuses to be one of them. She refuses to let fear decide her fate. She refuses to let the small minds of others dictate the size of her dreams. She knows that people will always doubt things they do not understand. And she also knows that one day, when she turns her dreams into reality, those same people will look at her and wonder how she did it. They will forget the doubts they once had. They will forget the skepticism they once showed. But she will remember. She will remember every moment she stood against the fear, every time she chose faith over hesitation. And that will be enough. She has been knocked down more times than she can count. Life has tested her, stretched her, broken her in ways she never imagined, yet here she is, standing, breathing, fighting. Not because it was easy, not because she had all the answers, but because resilience is her superpower. She wasn't born with it. It wasn't handed to her. She built it, piece by piece, through pain, through loss, through moments that should have destroyed her. She learned that resilience isn't just about bouncing back. It's about rising stronger. It's about finding the courage to stand up even when your legs are shaking. It's about facing the same battle that almost broke you and daring to fight again. She has walked through fire and come out with scars, but those scars are not signs of weakness. They are proof that she survived, that she endured, that she refused to be defeated. Every challenge she has faced has only sharpened her, refined her, made her more powerful than she was before. She has learned that resilience isn't about never falling, it's about never staying down. There were days when she felt like she had nothing left to give. Days when she cried until there were no more tears. When exhaustion weighed so heavily on her shoulders that she wondered if she could carry on. But she did. She dug deep, found strength in places she didn't know existed, and kept moving forward. Not because she didn't feel the pain, but because she knew she couldn't let the pain define her. She has been told no when she deserved a yes. She has worked twice as hard to prove herself in rooms that didn't want to acknowledge her. She has watched doors close in her face, opportunities slip through her fingers, and still she refused to quit. She understood that setbacks are not the end of the story, they are just part of the journey. She knew that resilience isn't about avoiding failure, but about using failure as fuel. People have underestimated her, assumed she was too fragile to handle the pressure, too emotional to withstand the weight of expectation. What they didn't see was the fire inside her, the relentless spirit that refused to be extinguished. She has faced betrayals that should have broken her trust, disappointments that should have shattered her hope, but she has never let bitterness take root in her heart. Instead, she has chosen to keep believing, to keep striving, to keep loving, even when the world gave her every reason to stop. Resilience has become her armor, not the kind that makes her hard or unfeeling, but the kind that protects her from allowing pain to steal her purpose. She has learned to bend without breaking, to adapt without losing herself. She has found a way to transform adversity into strength, obstacles into lessons, and failures into stepping stones. She knows now that resilience isn't just about surviving, it's about thriving despite the odds. It's about looking back at everything that was meant to destroy her and realizing that it only made her unstoppable. She isn't just enduring life, she is conquering it, one challenge at a time. Love is meant to lift, not to chain. It should never make her feel small, unworthy, or incapable. Real love doesn't silence her voice, weaken her spirit, or make her doubt her own worth. It fuels her dreams, strengthens her soul, and reminds her that she is powerful beyond measure. She has seen what love looks like when it's built on control rather than care, on fear rather than freedom. She has felt the weight of expectations disguised as affection, the subtle ways in which love, when misunderstood, can start to dim the light within her. But she was never meant to shrink to fit inside someone else's definition of love. Love should not be a cage, it should be wings. She has learned that true love does not demand her to give up her dreams. It does not ask her to make herself smaller so someone else can feel bigger. The right love doesn't see her ambitions as threats or her independence as defiance. Instead, it sees the fire in her eyes and adds fuel to it. It doesn't ask her to choose between love and herself. It helps her become more of who she is meant to be. She has experienced love that drained her, love that made her question her own worth, love that left her feeling like she had to fight just to be seen. But she has also known love that built her up, love that made her feel unstoppable, love that reminded her she was capable of anything. And now she knows the difference. She will not settle for anything less than a love that empowers, a love that cheers for her when she wins and holds her when she loses. A love that does not fear her strength but admires it. A love that does not suppress her voice but amplifies it. Because love should be a safe place, not a battlefield. It should be a partnership, not a competition. It should be a home, not a prison. She has seen the way the world tells women that love requires sacrifice, that to be loved, they must be willing to give up parts of themselves. But she refuses to believe that love and self-worth cannot coexist. She knows now that the right love will never ask her to compromise who she is. It will never make her feel like she is too much or not enough. It will celebrate her strength, not resent it. She deserves a love that recognizes that she is whole on her own, but chooses to stand beside her anyway. A love that does not complete her, but complements her. A love that does not hold her back, but pushes her forward. She deserves a love that is proud of her, that sees her in her fullest form and does not flinch. Because love, when it is real, does not weaken, it empowers. It does not make her feel like she has to fight for her place, beg for respect, or prove her worth. It honors her, uplifts her, and reminds her of what she is capable of. It lets her shine, lets her soar, and never asks her to be anything less than who she was always meant to be. Listen, she is not falling apart, she is evolving. Every challenge she has faced, every moment of doubt, every tear that has fallen in silence, none of it has broken her. It has shaped her. It has strengthened her. She is not the same woman she was yesterday, and she won't be the same woman tomorrow. She is in a constant state of becoming, of transforming into the person she was always meant to be. People may look at her and see the struggles, the setbacks, the moments when she seemed to stumble. They may mistake her moments of vulnerability for weakness, her silence for defeat. But what they don't realize is that every difficult moment has been a lesson. Every hardship has been a stepping stone. And every time she thought she was at her breaking point, she was actually on the verge of something greater. She has had to unlearn the things that told her she wasn't enough. She has had to let go of the people who did not value her, the beliefs that made her doubt herself, the fears that held her back. She has had to break free from the expectations that told her to stay small, to be quiet, to blend in. And with every piece she sheds, she grows into a woman who is wiser, stronger, and more unapologetically herself. Becoming is not always beautiful. It is raw, messy, and sometimes painful. It is about standing in front of a mirror and confronting the parts of herself that she used to hide. It is about accepting her scars, embracing her imperfections, and realizing that she does not have to be flawless to be powerful. It is about making peace with her past, forgiving herself for what she did not know, and stepping boldly into the woman she is creating. There have been days when she felt lost, like she was walking through life without a clear direction. There have been moments when she questioned whether she was making the right choices, whether she was strong enough to handle everything that came her way. But deep down, she has always known she is not lost, she is unfolding. She is not failing, she is learning. She is not breaking, she is becoming. She has learned that growth requires discomfort, that in order to rise, she must sometimes let herself fall, that the most powerful transformations happen in the moments when she feels the most uncertain. She has come to understand that the struggles she faces are not there to destroy her, but to prepare her for the life she is meant to live. People may try to define her based on who she used to be, but she no longer fits into that version of herself. She is shedding the expectations, the limitations, the fears that once held her back. She is stepping into her strength, her confidence, her power. She is embracing the woman she is becoming without apology, without hesitation. She is not the same person she was a year ago or even a month ago. She is constantly evolving, constantly growing. And while the world may not always understand her journey, she knows that she is exactly where she is meant to be. She is not breaking, she is rising. She is becoming. And nothing can stop her now.